Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to pick 23 of my 30 favorite progressive rock albums of the 70s. We are counting down each and every day. We've got 30 days here in the month of June 2023. I have picked out my 30 favorite prog albums of that decade. Not an easy feat. Lots of great albums to choose from. Also, like a handful of bands that had many great albums in that decade. So I've limited myself to just 3 max of any one band. So you will see a few bands that appear more than once, maybe even more than twice on this list. Today, though, for day 23, pick 23, I should say, this is an album that I love, that deserves to be on many different great lists, albums of the 70s. Doesn't quite fit into any of them, which is kind of strange. So I almost didn't include this month. Because I'm like, is this really truly progressive rock? Some people say it is. And I was like, well, if it's not quite prog, perhaps I can include it in my countdown next month of my favorite 31 hard rock and heavy metal albums of the 70s, right? But then I'm like, is it really hard rock? Maybe not. Some people kind of call it that. So I stopped to think, I was like, well, do I consider it more one or the other? And then I was like, well, I think this album has enough prog rock elements in it. It certainly has some blues rock elements in it. It certainly has some folk elements in it. It certainly has some hard rock elements in it as well. But I think universally this album is looked at as the probably one album from this band that could be considered progressive rock. And it is a classic. So I said, you know what? I'm going to include it in this month, just because I can. So and I've seen some of you pick this already, so I'm not alone in this assessment, so I think it deserves to be here. It was released April 28th, 1972. It's the third album from this British band, recorded at Delane Lea Studios in London, England, produced by Derek Lawrence, engineered by Martin Birch for Decca MCA Records. I'm talking about Argus by Wishbone Ash. Those of you who've been watching the channel of late, you saw that I did the review of the brand new 50th anniversary Argus box set yesterday. Truly a cool box set. This is truly a great album. It is. And, again, despite trying to figure out how you classify this album, I think what most people can agree on that this is one of the landmark albums exemplifying the whole twin guitar harmony thing, right? Granted, I don't think Wishbone Ash created it, right? I think you had the Allman Brothers doing it just a little bit before, a little bit earlier, but again in a different context. But as far as like a British band doing, well, I mean, you had Fleetwood Mac and other bands who had more than one or two guitar players, but I think this is the first band that really said we're going to kind of take these two guitar players who are both excellent lead players and create these twin harmonies that just are extremely pleasing to the ear and doing something a little bit different than just, you take a solo, I take a solo, we play the same riff, there we go. These guys did some really incredible things together, and that became like the staple of the band, of course, who then went on to influence other bands who took part in this sort of thing, like Thin Lizzy and Iron Maiden and Judas Priest and many others to follow, right? I mean, the impact and influence of Wishbone Ash just cannot be denied, even if you just want to look at that particular aspect, right? But this album is a really, really cool album. Again, blends hard rock and prog and jazz and folk and blues all into one kind of seamless a little bit of boogie as well. We've got, of course, the twin guitar players themselves. You got Andy Powell and Ted Turner, right? They both also do backing vocals. Martin Turner on bass guitar, excellent bass guitarist and vocalist, and Steve Upton on drums and percussion. And the one good thing about this band too, as we saw throughout their history, especially like Andy Powell started singing, is the main singer in the band now. He also started singing more and more as time went on. But a fantastic album that just has this, it sort of has a concept album feel, even though it's not really. There are a few songs here that are tied sort of to a conceptual theme. But it starts off with Time Was. And I do want to mention Ted Turner sings on this album as well. So they're all kind of singing lead and backing vocals, even though Martin at this point in time was kind of considered the main singer in the band. So Time Was starts off with these wonderful kind of folky guitar things, just absolutely exquisite. And then it becomes this up-tempo, very melodic, majestic rock song. Again, brings to mind prog and folk and hard rock, blends it together. Wonderful vocal harmonies from Ted and Martin on that particular one. Then, of course, you have the amazing Sometime World, which, if it's not my favorite song on the album or my favorite Wishbone Ash song in general, it's up there. And again, both of these songs that kick off the album are fairly lengthy. Time Was is just under 10 minutes long. Lots of great guitar playing on that one. Then you got Sometime World, which is just about 7. It's a kind of slow builder song. Great vocals, once again, from Martin Turner on this one. Andy's helping out as well. And then you got the 2 solo sections. First, the kind of more mellow and melodic soloing from Ted. And then at the end, you got this blistering rock excursion from Andy Powell. Just absolutely tremendous. Then, of course, their big kind of boogie staple, Blowin' Free, might be their most well-known song. I like Blowin' Free. It's not nearly one of my favorite songs. In fact, if you were to ask me my top 10 favorite Wishbone Ash songs, I generally won't even mention that. People seem to love it. I know it's a big concert hit and always has been. And all the many times I've seen Wishbone Ash, it's always fun live. But to me, as far as an album cut, it never really did a lot for me. But it's a good song. Lots of good rocking guitar work on it. It's fun. Then you have The King Will Come, gorgeous, majestic track. Leaf and Stream, more of the same. The whole second half of the album is where the kind of the conceptual part of this takes place. Then you have the heavy rock Warrior. I have to be a warrior. Big riffs and great vocals from Martin and Andy on that one. And then, of course, the incredible Throw Down the Sword. So, man, The King Will Come, Leaf and Stream, Warrior, and Throw Down the Sword. It's just basically takes this cover art, and that's kind of what you kind of envision. You are this warrior here looking over the countryside. You got your spear and your helmet, right? It's not Darth Vader, guys. But yeah, it's excellent stuff. Wonderfully produced, I might say. Wonderfully produced album. And if you get the box set that just came out, Martin Turner's remix of it is just absolutely gorgeous. It's such a majestic and exquisite album. Great vocals and vocal harmonies, amazing guitar solos and guitar harmonies, and cool riffs, and the drumming is off the charts. Just, yeah, great stuff. Love it. Wishbone Ash Argus is my pick number 23. Let us know what you think of Argus in the comments below, as well as your pick for today. Pick number 23, and visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts, and please do hit the like button before you leave. We've also got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, as well as our merch page, so thank you in advance for investigating that. That's all in the video description below, and we'll see you tomorrow with another. My pick number 22 is coming up at you tomorrow. Stay tuned tonight for the Monsters Den. We also, we're going to be talking about our favorite tiny terror horror films. So those films where the main protagonists, the killers, are these tiny little beings or creatures and things, and those are the ones that are out to get you, right? That's kind of our theme tonight, so stay tuned for that. I hope to get to... It's all about the fuzz tonight. Sorry we didn't get to that last night. We had something came up, and but Karen and I are going to be hopefully reconvening tonight, and we'll get that for you later tonight. So stay tuned for that. And of course, Martin Popoff's coming to the Funhouse, coming to my house, the Funhouse, tomorrow morning. So stay tuned for that as well. We've also got ranking the albums this weekend. I will be ranking the catalog of the great Swedish band Sienna Root. So that's coming up on Sunday. So all that and more here on Sea of Tranquility. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.